what could be an advantage could also be a disadvantage.
I agree with you, particularly in the type of situation we are facing in Nigeria. These people will want to take advantage of the fact that the control center is there if they ever get to know where it is.
Exactly.
To strike and probably say, okay, you are the people taking decision. Yes, let's see whether you can take this. But I will tell you this. I won't be a commander to sit in a place and make my headquarters that vulnerable. Everything must be done to secure that place. Everything must be done. Just mark my word. Everything must be done to secure the base of the control center.
So you deploy more personnel, more equipment to the command center?
No. There are ways. You cannot amass the troops around the control center. No, you cannot do that.
General, key this into
Yes.
the argument from Mark and Chamberlain. Two barracks, key barracks, Giwa barracks and Malari barracks. You remember how the Malari barracks was attacked then, and it got to a point, it got to a head. Some of the soldiers were really angry with their GOC, the mutiny story and all of that. So hashtag the military command being there and getting attacked, being attacked by the insurgents, yes, which is the minus you have just highlighted in all of this being moved. And the plus is that you say they are supposed to do everything within their powers to ensure that that place is not attacked. And it doesn't have to be with so many men on the ground. Does that in any way tell us that there was this laissez-faire, lackadaisical attitude in some of our soldiers, to the extent that the barracks were attacked at that point in time by the insurgents?
Yes, that's true. The barracks were attacked. The insurgents, in fact, were probably getting some form of information that, to me, like sabotage and things like that. But I think we have managed to move away from that type of situation now to where we are. And in fact, we must also admit that the Boko Haram setup too is to a very large extent degraded by the actions that were taken between the time we postponed the election, I think in February, to the time that the former president handed over. So right now, you will see that the approach at the moment, even though the normal regular operation is still going on, mopping up and checking and all the rest of it, the Boko Haram people too have already changed tactics to something like, I highlighted here the other time, into some form of guerrilla tactics, because their command chain has been disrupted. And so you'll find a band of 3-4 people ganging together and using whatever they have within their hold to cause all sorts of mayhem and confusion.
And that's a problem.
Yes.
In fact, for some people, they say that that's what makes that particular move for the command and control. So that's what leaves it even more vulnerable, because these people do not exactly participate in normal form of warfare. It's guerrilla warfare. In any case, one person can strap himself or herself and decide that's where it is and set it off there.
I'll be surprised if they allow anybody, and I say anybody, including the wives of the officers that are likely to man that control center. I don't think anybody will be allowed to get that close. You see, the truth of the case is that, in fact, there was a time in the process of combating the Boko Haram that I felt, in fact, the Muslim authorities in Nigeria ought to have taken a decision that hijab, the way it is worn, covering from the head to toe, should be avoided for now. I'm not saying they should not cover up to the temples here, but at least if you cover from here to here, you are not likely to be able to hide anything between here and below. I thought these were things that, carrying the public along, that we ought to have done. But that didn't come. That didn't come from
Maybe that's
anybody.
also because they've not been prompted. Do you think that the security agencies have seen the need for that?
Probably those who are in authority who ought to have informed the Muslim authorities shied away from it for not, offending their sensibilities. It could be, but I thought it ought to have occurred to us because repeatedly I said, a number of young girls brainwashed and were, they had these things tied, IEDs tied around their waists, and then they went into places and they caused confusion. They caused mayhem. These are things that are more likely to happen now than before. So I would expect that the command center is not new to it. They know it. And they are also aware of what the troops are doing in the field with the Air Force. So the likelihood is that the Boko Haram people are likely to resort to these surreptitious ways of approaching priced targets. Because I will call the command center a priced target. And so, if they know that, and of course they know that they will be a target, and as such, all sorts of precautions will be taken to ensure that the place is clean.
Is it really worth the move then? If we're looking at so much investment in ensuring that it is secure, is it really worth the move?
I believe it is. Because if you want to solve a problem that you believe should end as quickly as possible, you cannot run away from it. You have to be there. For example, recently, I think about a week or two ago, they somehow operated in Maiduguri itself. I don't believe that maybe the command center moving to Maiduguri would have totally prevented that, but it would have checked it to quite an extent. That's my belief.
Thank you very much indeed, Brigadier General Olusegun Ajano, speaking to us about this directive by the President to relocate the command center to where the party is, as they say it. We'll be back after the break. Stay with us.